Here's a presentation of the 7th chapter, Glimpses of India, from the book First Flight. So today in this video we are going to learn the third part, which is Tea from Assam, which is written by Arup Kr Datta. This is a small chapter which is about two main characters, Pranjal and Rajveer, and a minor character, Mr. Borua, who was Pranjal's father. So now let's know more about Pranjal. He was a youngster from Assam who studied in a school at Delhi. He was the classmate of Rajveer. So he invited Rajveer to visit Assam during the summer vacation because Rajveer had never been to Assam. But one thing was, though Pranjal lived in Assam, yet he didn't know much about tea. And Rajveer, who lived in North India, rather he knew more about the place. And Pranjal knew many things from Rajveer as well. Rajveer was a youngster from North India, as said before, and he studied in the same school where Pranjal studied at Delhi. And he went to Assam along with Pranjal during his vacation because he had never visited Assam. So he wanted to visit and know more about the place. As he had little knowledge about tea, but by going there, he knew more and gained more and more. Now, both of them liked reading detective stories, and when they were in the train, they were busy reading detective stories. So, Mr. Borua, who was Pranjal's father, is the minor character here, and he was the manager of a tea garden in Thekiabari. So, their plan was going to be successful since both of them were now ready and they were sitting inside the train. As they were sitting, they heard vendors calling out loud, trying to sell their things. Now, one vendor was busy selling tea, and both of them, not only both of them, but the whole compartment got attracted to the vendor, and it was tea. The vendor was calling out chai garam to everyone, and everyone in the compartment bought tea. After drinking, as the train pulled out, both started reading detective stories. While enjoying tea, Rajveer shared some of the facts and stories that he knew about tea with Pranjal. He said that over 80 crore cups of tea are drunk every day throughout the world. Tea was first drunk in China as far back as 2700 BC. The words chai and chini were coined by the Chinese. Tea came to Europe only in the 16th century, and it was drunk more as a medicine than as a beverage. He also said that Assam has the largest concentration of tea plantations in the world. And related to tea, he said two legends. After telling the facts, now he was wanting to share the legends that was related to tea. He knew the Chinese legend and the Indian legend. So according to the Chinese legend, there was an emperor who often drank hot water, and in order to boil the water, twigs were burned. So once it so happened that when twigs were brought to burn firewood, a few leaves fell into the water. It was unobserved and it gave a delicious flavor, which was later tasted by the emperor. He really liked the flavor, and it was known to be tea leaves. From then on, tea leaves started to be used. Next was the Indian legend. According to the Indian legend, there was a Buddhist who was self disciplined and he often felt sleepy during meditation. So, out of anger, he cut off his eyelids. And it was said that where the eyelids fell, 10 tea plants grew out of it. The leaves of the plant, when put in hot water and drunk, it banished sleep. Before knowing more about the chapter, do share and subscribe my channel so that you get ready-made notes easily. The long distance journey was almost coming to an end because they have already reached the state's boundary. Now when they reached here, Rajveer kept his detective story aside and he was busy admiring the greenery that was found everywhere. He saw that the soft green paddy fields were giving way to the tea bushes. Again, the tea bushes were termed as sea by him because it was such a vast area. And the tea bushes were stretched against the backdrop of densely wooded hills because behind the tea bushes there were wooded hills. Now, again, the tea plants were termed as dwarf because in front of the tall, sturdy shade trees, they looked like dwarfs. Now, the tea bushes were in rows, and he really admired the maintenance, the arrangement that was done by the tea planters. Now, he also saw an ugly building with smoke bellowing out of tall chimneys. Apart from all these things, Rajveer also saw the tea pluggers who were moving in groups. They were with bamboo baskets on their backs, wore plastic aprons, and they were busy collecting or they were busy plucking the newly sprouted leaves. Now, they were also termed as doll-like figures by Rajveer because they looked so small. Actually, Rajveer was sitting in the train and the doll-like figures were very far away from him. So that's why he termed them as doll-like figures due to their height. The train now clattered. That means it moved towards the Marini Junction, which was in Jorhat. So they were not supposed to go to the Marini Junction, and that's why they had to stop there since they had to go to Dhikabari. Time passed by telling stories and facts and reading detective books. Now it was time for both of the boys to push their way to the crowded platform. They collected their luggage and then they stopped there. Pranjal's parents went to receive them. Pranjal's parents found them stepping down from the train and everyone together, they sat on the car and veered sharply off the main road. They crossed a cattle bridge, that means it was a very small bridge, and entered the Dhikabari tea estate. Rajveer again was fascinated to see acres upon acres of tea bushes everywhere. They were neatly pruned or trimmed to the same height on both sides of the gravel road, and he saw the tea pluckers near him. He also saw a tractor pulling a trailer load of tea leaves passing near the car. Now, after seeing the tea pluckers plucking the leaves everywhere, he wanted to confirm from Mr. Borwa if it was the second flush or the sprouting period of tea leaves. And secondly, he wanted to also confirm if it lasts from May to July and which yielded the best tea. At last, after hearing from Rajveer, Mr. Borwa was very much surprised. He knew much about tea plantations. So, Mr. Borwa asked Rajveer if he had done his homework before coming to Assam. Rajveer admitted, and he said that he wanted to know more about it because all these days he had been reading about it in books. Now he wanted to experience the thing. And he really became very eager to learn more and more and was really very much fascinated at Assam's beauty. So here is the end of the chapter Tea from Assam, where we have seen Rajveer not only read about Assam in books, rather he visited the place and explored more and more. Thank you.